Have a bounce back loan and haven't heard the news? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you some exciting announcements just made that are really going to help your cash flow. As a business accountant, my team and I spend all day long helping business owners on their journey. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know I've covered bounce back loans a lot. I think they're one of the most awesome measures that was introduced in the COVID pandemic support measures. And the reason that is that it generally, I'm going to use generally because I know there are those owners out there that are just still struggling to get one, it generally gets cash into your bank really, really quickly. We've done multiple videos on how to go around getting those, so check those out. But for now, I just want to talk about some awesome news that was announced during the Chancellor's Winter Economic Plan speech, and we're going to talk about that, the Winter Economy Plan as he called it. Right now it's still quite early on, so there are a few practicalities we don't know the answer to, but I'm going to give you the changes and why I think this is really, really good. And of course, in the title I've used the word the loan is cheaper. It's not technically true, it's a bit clickbaity I suppose, but you're going to feel like it's cheaper for the reasons that I'm going to show you. So before we get into it, if you do like this video, make sure to click the subscribe button below so you're notified whenever we release another video just like this. So let's get into it. So the announcement was entitled Pay As You Grow, awesome pun. However, it is what it sounds like. The idea is that as you grow back into it, they want to give you more time to pay down these loans. So at the moment, very briefly, if you have a bounce back loan, they're over 6 years. Year one, you pay nothing at all. The government's actually giving you behind the scenes a grant to pay the banks for that interest, but it's no interest. Then it's 2.5% over the next 5 years. So incredibly cheap finance. However, what starts to happen, of course, after the first year is you have to then pay the loan back. So if you had a loan of about 50,000, you're looking at about £850 a month, roughly, to repay down that loan. Now, that might come too soon for you. So if you've just borrowed cash all the way through to keep you through the pandemic, you might well, when you get round to, let's say you've borrowed it in April, by the time you get around to April 21, you might suddenly be out of a lot of money and think, how am I going to afford this £850? That's quite a lot. I haven't quite yet recovered to where I was going to be. Now, the government recognises this fact, so one of the announcement is that you're going to be able to extend the term of the loan over 10 years, which seems like a long time, but what it really does is drastically reduce your repayments. So that will have a really good cash flow impact. So when I joke about it being cheaper, that from an actual monthly cost, it's going to feel like the loan's actually cheaper because it's over a longer period of time. Now, it might not technically be correct, but that's how it's going to feel. The other measures that were announced that I think are really good is also, if you're struggling early on, you can also ask for a payment break after you've made the first 6 payments. So that payment break, you have to have made 6 payments first, and then once in the entire term, you can request a payment break. They are saying at the moment that won't affect your credit rating, which is also awesome. So that's going to go in there. The other thing you can do 3 times is you can ask to go to interest only for 6 months at a time. Now that's incredible, isn't it? 10 years, then you can do 3 payments or 3 periods of 6 months each, that's 18 months of interest free, and you can have a 6-month payment break. So you really have got the opportunity to make sure you're paying these back when you're kind of ready to pay it back. So I think they are phenomenal in terms of the impact on cash flow right now. And there's been some other measures announced that you can see another video I did on it just after the speech, and I'm sure will be further videos on, where they've announced things like being able to spread your VAT that you deferred, spread your personal tax that you might not have paid yet, all around this time, this early part of 2021, where it was going to get really sticky for a lot of businesses. So absolutely fantastic. So I nearly forgot, one of the things that you're bound to ask as you're watching this video is, how do I actually ask for these payment breaks? How do I get my extension? Well, the answer is, at the time recording the video, we don't know. If you check out some of the major banks' websites, they all say more details coming soon. I suspect they found out at the same as everyone else on the announcements and probably haven't had the time yet to put the systems in place, but we believe it will be done through your bank. So keep an eye, contact your lender if you really need to, and have a chat with them early doors about how to go and ask for these extensions. And of course, the other thing to note is that the deadline for submissions or applications for submissions for the bounce back loans was going to be early November. They've actually extended it now to the 30th of November. So that's brilliant, because I know there are some people who are desperate to get their hands on this, and for whatever technical reason they're struggling. I think when it works amazingly. I've seen it done with clients, multiple clients, where they can actually click it. Barclays is a great example. If it works for you, you can go through the process online. You literally log into your online banking, click on it, go through. There's 18 things you have to confirm at the time of recording this video that are okay. Couple of figures in, next, arrives in your bank 24 hours. Can't argue with that. Obviously, the fraudsters have been on this as well, trying to do what they can do to get hold of those. But there are people still out there now who are just really struggling to get that. And I do feel for you if that's the case. I know quite a lot of the banks, early doors, some of them opened and said, yeah, we'll take all these bounce back loans from new customers. Nearly all of them now, I think at the time of recording, there's only 2 that will actually entertain new clients coming for these bounce backs. So they are becoming a bit more difficult to get if you haven't been able to get through the process easier. But hopefully this extended deadline is going to help you. But I wouldn't hang around if you're thinking, oh, do you know what, I was going to wait, because of the small problems that can occur. It can be silly things like with some banks, you might not have updated your email address or your address, or there's an old shareholder on their mandate or something like that doesn't match company's house. So do get them in early so that you can make sure that you clear the process before the application date's up. So that's it, some amazing cash flow potential there to help your business. So please do share this video, link it to anybody you think needs to know, and we'll see you on the next one. And of course, remember to subscribe.